Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you and peace out to the rest of you. Black heart, black mind, black in again. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. I'm going to wait and give some folks time to come in. While I'm waiting, I want to tell you all I'm sorry about starting late. I scheduled this to start at 7:35. Uh, yeah, 7:35 Baghdad time, which would be 8:35 Emirates time. And unfortunately, my plans are always better than what the final outcome is. No sooner did I schedule that time than the phone rang and I should not have answered it. That was dumb on my part. Every time I schedule it, something happens. Yesterday, I planned to do a live and I didn't get a chance to. Looking for an apartment and looking for a car is really tough work anywhere in the world. But here it can be even worse. The apartment search has gone better, but looking for a car is nothing but a hassle. And thank God for Sudanese people because it's a part of their culture to hate lying and dishonesty, especially for the sake of money. So I've been lucky. My girlfriend and I, she's also my wife, by the way. So don't any of you start saying stuck for the law, black. Why are you saying that? She and I went to a car market, and of course there was a local guy, and he lied, and we caught him in a lie. It was a Sudanese guy that examined the car and said, "Wait a minute, there were accidents here. This thing cannot sell for this price that you mentioned because of the accident that it's been in." And the owner and his son said, "What accident? What are you talking about?" And my wife, being fluent in Arabic, said, "He told me there was no accident." And the Sudanese man said, "Oh, there's been an accident. If it's not an accident, then they've replaced this particular part for no reason. I mean, why else would they do this? No, somebody fixed this." And apparently I was holding my wife back from finding a car because I would go with her. But when she and I would speak English, everybody around would listen. And whoever was selling anything would say, "Okay, we're going to jack the price up." Now, in the Gulf, that's not common. But in Gulf nations, they don't generally change prices on things because you're foreign. But when it comes to cars, apparently it's different. And the reason that reason I didn't start fussing at the son of the owner who told us the information and then the owner was because I didn't understand everything they were saying, and my wife translated for me later. So anyway, Art Zuck, hit a one in the if you're hit a one in the chat if you're there, Art Zuck. If you're there. Also, as a matter of fact, everybody put a black fist in the chat or put a one in the chat if the sound is coming through clearly. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the sound is coming through well or not. All right, I'm going to double check and see if there are any delays because that's possible. There may be a delay of several seconds, but okay, all right. Okay, Elohim Mirror, Son of the Way, J Hall, and Tarab. Okay, all right, y'all put a one in. It was several seconds delay, but it came through. All right, excellent, excellent. Okay, so now that being said, okay, thank you, Goshen, for letting me know. All right, Ards up. Thanks for telling me. Assalamu alaikum. All right, so here's what happened. As people know who have heard my channel before, I can't tolerate cheating. And I don't really think I should change my attitude. I believe that other father muckers should stop cheating. And then I'm not realistically expecting that everybody will stop. But what I do have to do at times is when I catch it, I got to confront it and tell them, no, you're not going to pull this on me or anybody else while I'm around. Because dishonest business is bad business. It causes things to come back on you that you didn't know were going to come back on you. I mean, think about it. If someone sells you a bad car, and they just outright lie to you, and then you find out that they actually lied. You take the car to the mechanic, and the mechanic says, oh, I know the previous owner. I told him to fix this. Did he tell you that this was like this? And you're like, no, he told me he got everything done. You know, you're going to go back after that owner and you're going to whoop his behind. And so I told my wife, we're not even going to look at any cars that were owned by citizens and that citizens are selling. They need to have been owned by expats or the used car dealer that we learned we can trust, the one that did the inspection for us and found the accident. We need to go there, but no more just buying it off of citizens' hands at the market, because they're lying about this stuff. Unless they pull out the paperwork, they're lying. And frankly, I think they'll bribe somebody to give them false paperwork, to print up a fake receipt. I'm telling you that in the Gulf, when you start buying a car, you can buy from a citizen, but it has to be a citizen that either you already know and trust, or that someone you know and trust also knows and trusts and can vouch for. You can buy it from certain dealerships where they're known to be trustworthy, and they'll do the inspections and they'll tell you at least what needs to be done on a car before they sell it to you. They also exist. But people here cheat and they lie extensively. They usually don't cheat you out of money in most cases. When it comes to academics and apparently cars, they cheat. I'm not required to sit up and tell you a rosy picture and lie to you because they cheat. I'm supposed to tell you, well, this is what I can tell you with my own two eyes and my own two ears. I directly observed this, so I know it's true. Yeah, they cheat. Or if I found that they were honest, I'm supposed to tell you with my own two eyes and ears that they were honest. Yes, Art Zuck, I saw the comments. When I got in late, I saw them. And to answer your question, Art Zuck, we found the apartment. Now the only problem is a car search. And I told my wife yesterday, we're done searching. We're going to wait until the guy that we know gets a hold of one that's a good deal, because we can trust him. We know we can trust him. So we'll do that. But what we're not going to do is go to the regular market where the citizens are selling them and trust any of them, even if they show the paperwork to explain what repairs they've recently made. We don't trust that. So now some would say, well, look, Black, you're in their country. You don't want to offend them. Shuck that fit. I am here to offend the guilty. The only ones whose feelings I'm here to spare are those of the innocent. I don't go after innocent women. I don't go after innocent men. I don't let women go after innocent men. I don't let them try to put the price tag of the guilty on the innocent men, which is something that they would love to do. And don't get it twisted. I talk as much as I do about that for that very reason. Somebody actually explained why it is that there are a lot of false rape accusations. And what he was explaining, I think it was Replicant Fish that explained it, if I'm not mistaken. But he explained that a lot of times women, when they falsely accuse a man, they were raped. They just didn't accuse the man that actually did it. They bury the trauma for years. They don't blame that guy. They don't want to go through it. And then later they blame another man because he made them feel uncomfortable. So they go on the proactive or the preemptive strike against somebody else and then say, yeah, he tried to rape me, or he raped me, or he harassed me because he said hello, but he's ugly. So he explained this, and I realized, okay, so this is exactly the same pattern of behavior that we're dealing with when it doesn't go as far as a rape accusation. The pattern that we're dealing with then is just simply let one man get away with it and then blame another man for it and try to get the tax and the price and the penalty out of him. Shuck that fit. I go after the guilty. Once I can observe that they are in fact guilty, I'll go after them. I'm not capable of feeling embarrassment anymore. I lost that sensation or that emotion about age 20. And I think it was due to to my last fist fight. But I lost it for whatever reason. And it was a liberating experience. I can feel guilt. So I don't go after the innocent, because then I would be guilty. And I can feel guilt. I can apprehend a sense of guilt, just not embarrassment or shame. And that's what I'm going to tell you all here. This is exactly how we're going to have to approach the motherland, the homeland. There's one country that has a bad reputation. That's Nigeria. Now, I'm not going to tell you that Nigeria is really one country, to be honest. Officially, it is. Culturally speaking, it's many different countries in one. This is what Nigerians have told me. They said that the North, the Middle, and the South are not really the same country, that the North and the South are definitely not the same, except you don't have to show a passport to fly domestically or to drive through domestically. That's all they say. So Lagos is actually where you've got the crowd. That's where you've got the congestion. Everybody's a hustler in Lagos. And so people pride themselves on being quick-witted, talking fast. Everybody's trying to make money, and that's 24/7, and there's really not much else going on. That doesn't mean the whole country's like that. But you see, Lagos is still its biggest city. Abuja has not reached the population of Lagos, the last I heard. Now, I'm telling you this to explain to you that if you have a congested and unfriendly city where things are very impersonal, and your only value is what money somebody can make off of you or what money they can save dealing with you, then naturally one scam artist can really set you back. Nigeria is not a country full of scam artists. That's impossible. The problem is that you have enough scam artists coming out of Nigeria, usually Lagos, who think that you're stupid. They even think a northern Nigerian is stupid, to where it has ruined the reputation of the country. Now you go into South Africa and they don't like Nigerians. And they told me that when I was in South Africa. You go into Malaysia, they don't like Nigerians. And they told me that when I was in Malaysia. In Kenya, they don't like them. In other countries, they don't like them. And in the United Arab Emirates, not far from me, they actually post job openings now in the paper, and they say any African nationality welcome to apply except for Nigerians. Now, that's an illegal thing to put in a job ad, but they do it anyway, because there's no political will to prosecute them for that description, as long as you're discriminating against Nigerians, because people don't trust them. This is bad for the honest Nigerians that probably make up the majority of the population and probably make up almost all the population in the North anyway. That's not fair to them. I don't like that happens. However, and see, Artzuk says the same thing there in Jakarta because of the attitude. The problem people have is not with Africans, it's with Nigerians. Now, Nigerians may brag and say, well, we're 250 million. We're the most populated African country. And to that, when they say that, if it's a northerner, I say, well, apparently people have a weak pullout game, and that's what sex is like. I understand. If a southerner is bragging about that, then I say, yeah, weeds always grow more quickly than crops. Depends on where they're from, because they're not the same people. But yes, it's an attitude problem. And this is what they don't tell you, Art Zuck. To be honest with you, Art Zuck, I'll put you all up on some knowledge. Nigeria is like a bunch of different countries in one. But when you find somebody with a bad attitude and they're arrogant and they talking trash, usually they're from the South, specifically Lagos. And usually they don't hate you when they're talking that way, but they get so used to just talking trash about other people and talking arrogantly about themselves that they think nothing of it, and then they offend everybody, and then they wonder why no one likes them, and sometimes people even try to shoot them. If I was a South African in South Africa, I would try to shoot them. And if any of them tried to resist, then I try to burn them alive, because they do that in South Africa for certain crimes. But that's for the ones that, commit certain crimes. Now, what does this have to do with Art Cathey? All right, I'll get straight to it. Art Cathey, you all heard, and this is going back 2 months, so I'm coming in late for a reason. But 2 months ago, she started to say, you Gambians don't know how to do business. You're scamming. They call you the smiling coast because you're smiling in people's faces and trying to scam them. And we African Americans and other diasporans ain't going to take this shit off of you. Now, what she said was kind of insulting to them in their home, on their homeland, in the Gambia. She was in the Gambia recording this, telling this to Gambians. Yes, Abdullah bin Bobby, only Allah can punish with fire. But I'm not saying that I would do it because it's right. I'm saying I would do that because it's human. Because in my mind, when you try to evade the penalty for something that you've done, I'm not capable of feeling sympathy for such a person. I see them as dangerous to everybody, and all I want to do is get rid of them. It's like when I catch somebody cheating, when they try to threaten me, like, you're not going to leave this room with that report. That's when I tell them, if you do anything to stop me, I'm going to kill you. Some black folk are probably going to grab one of you Gulf citizens over there in the States that's studying and I don't care if it's an international incident at that point. You're going to pay the price for cheating. The thing is, oh yes, now if I had crucifixes, body-sized crucifixes on hand, there'd be some people missing. So yeah, she had to tell them, y'all got to stop the scamming. I won't lie to you and tell you that I would have said it the same way that she did. I would have said it a little differently. I would have pointed out the distinction between the scammers and even the victims from among their own people. I would have done it that way because that would have been more factual. I wouldn't have said you Gambians don't know how to do business. I would have said you scammers are ruining things for the rest. And the rest of you Gambians, when you catch these scammers, don't let them go. Beat the snot out of them right off the bat. Do whatever you can get away with doing. But no, actually, Mr. Irby, she had to say she ain't going to take it. It's got to be put out there. Because when we leave the U.S. and go back to the motherland, for one, most of us can't sit up and save a ton of money before we go anywhere. We can go with something, but we can't save up a fortune. We just can't. That's what America's like. It's designed to where if you're black and you're heterosexual, you just can't save up that much. Now, if you're black and you're a heterosexual male, you really can't, because the job market discriminates against you more than it does against African-American women. And the only black person that faces no job discrimination from the application process all the way up to promotions and pay is the African-American gay male whose resume readily identifies him as both African-American and gay. A study was shown on that in 2014. You want to be black and make the same money, get the same job opportunities and make the same money as a white heterosexual male, put on your resume an ethnic black name. And when it says extracurricular activities, put down that you're a member of some gay organization. They will call you in. They will interview you. They will offer you a good position with the same pay. And then they'll promote you. That's war against black male heterosexuality. I knew this was going on before I knew about this space on YouTube. So when you are black in America and you're trying to save up to go back home, you save as much as you can. Then you go back home. Now, some people in the market are going to raise the prices on you when you go to the market. But what happens when you're trying to do other things and people just keep coming to you with scams? And that's all. It's like you just see Art Cathey got approached by these people. I can tell by the way she's talking. People came to her and approached her and were trying to get more out of her. And she's sick of it. And she should be. That's what bothered her about it. because when you see that this is an area where they got scammers, you just avoid the area. But you get really frustrated when they come approaching you, when they start picking you out of a crowd and coming at you. When I lived in Atlanta, I got upset with beggars, not because they had to beg. I got upset with them when they started walking up to me out of crowds and singling me out. Brother, you got some change? First, I was like, no. Why didn't you ask them? And it just kept happening. Different beggars, they kept on looking at me thinking I'm innocent or something. I don't know. Brother, you got some change? I got sick of being singled out. Eventually, I started saying, look, motherfucker, I'm going to take your change if you don't leave me alone. Fuck made you pass him, and her up to come to me? Because I was insulted by it. It's not a compliment. And that's what's happening in her case. Maybe because they know she's not Gambian, whatever the case is, she's frustrated because they're approaching her with this mess. She had every right to call it out. She should have separated the non-scammers from the scammers instead of sounding like she thought that Gambians were scammers. I know she doesn't think that way because it's unrealistic. She did say later on, not all of you Gambians, but some of y'all. And plus, I know how African Americans think when we talk. She could have said it better. But what she said as a critique against the scammers was 100% correct. It had to be said. We're going to have to go to certain parts of Africa. Some of us will. We don't all have to go to the same parts, but we're going to find some ignorant stuff they're doing that's bad for them and us, and we're going to have to call it out. We're not wrong for that. We're wrong if we never have anything positive to say about the good stuff they do, and therefore we're unbalanced. That's when we're wrong. And some might be able to say that about her, but I haven't listened to everything she's had to say yet, so I really don't know. But I know, yes, when you go somewhere, just because you're a guest and you ain't a citizen doesn't mean that you are required to not say, hold up, I witnessed this with my own 2 eyes and ears. They ucking this fuck. When I came here, I saw the cheating. I said, no, I'm too black for this mess. I'm not looking the other way. What I got to be scared of these kids for? Well, they're citizens and they can, their uncles sometimes have connections. And okay, well, that's good to know. Thank you for telling me. But now that we know that, don't you think we should make a preparation for it? This little father mucker cheated. You caught him. Put the report in. Turn his little punk ass in. And if he fails and has to repeat the semester, good. But when I realized that the administration was scared of these little kids, fresh out of high school, 4 months ago, they were in high school. They starting off in the universities now with the same mentality and cheating. And we supposed to be scared of them. And they ain't even grown a full beard yet. You see, when we turn the other way because we see something going wrong and we turn a blind eye and don't say nothing about it, not because you don't know or because you only heard rumors and you couldn't confirm it, that's different. Okay, you heard about it, but you couldn't confirm it. I mean, that's okay. That's fine. You just, I've heard that people are being trafficked here. I haven't been able to confirm that. So I'm not going to say much about it. I've heard that in Sudan, they pick on black folks because they're black. I've met a bunch of Sudanese here in the Gulf. They don't know nothing about that. So I can't really say, okay, I observed it. When it came to cheating and scamming here, mostly cheating here, yeah, I observed it with my own 2 eyes and my own 2 ears. I was looking at them when they did it again and again and again. I caught 6 in one test one time. I caught 6 single-handedly. I realized it wasn't because I was better at catching them. It was because I was more honest about it when I saw them. Other teachers were scared. Stop looking at his paper. Stop looking at his paper. I was like, say, bro, I saw you looking at his paper. Give me your name. Okay, well, I'll just get the name off this test paper. Here, hand me this paper. And I write him up. No, get your ass out of here. You ain't finishing this test. And yes, I'm turning you in. Any other you tragic desert mulattoes want to cheat on this test? Anybody want to make it 7, 8? Oh, okay. Y'all want to stop now? Okay, great. Because if you don't cheat, I'm not going to write you up. But what I'm getting at is that we're going to see things like this when we go abroad, whether we're going to the motherland or we're going to Latin America. I'm talking about when we go to live, because we're going to have to leave the United States. I mean, I'm not against us being there as visitors, and I'm not saying we don't have rights in the U.S. I'm just saying that for our own safety, at some point we will have to get out. And we're already getting a warning that we won't be able to. I mean, just take a look at it. What's going on right now? The UN said black men have a cause to request asylum in other places. But at the same time, other countries are saying no Yankee passports because your boy T-Rump don't know how to handle COVID. So we're getting a warning already at this point. We're going to want to go. Don't wait till it's too late. Don't wait till everybody wants to leave to decide to leave. Ain't nobody going to take you. But again, when we do go abroad to settle in these places, we're going to see the good things, and we need to tell the people what's good about these places. We need to be honest. We're also going to see things that are wrong, and we should not hide it. When you witness it and you're sure it's a problem, go ahead and say it. And if somebody wants to say you're a guest here, tell them to knuckle up. Tell them to kick you out if they can. Or why not just go ahead and confront this problem like you're doing, because they're from there and they have more clout than you. So why don't they confront it? Because I'm going to tell you now, I cost the university here its accreditation. They were about to be accredited by an American accreditation board over here. The first university to which I was a English teacher. Pulled someone off to one of the visiting inspectors from that accreditation board. I pulled off to the side and I said, hey, man, I'm a snitch. Asked me what my name is. He was a Muslim cat. Stuck his hand on Assalamu alaikum. What's your name, sir? And I said, my name is Snitch. Walaikum salam. No, it was Walaikum salam. My name is Snitch. I'm here to snitch. Cheating is a problem. It's endemic in this university. The dean of this department is not the problem. He's against it. I'm against it. Other teachers are afraid, and administration between us teachers and the dean, they're also afraid. They're letting these kids cheat and get away with it. And they're beginning to penalize those of us that write the reports. And that's what's going on. This place does not deserve an accreditation. I'm just telling you straight up that they don't. Just wait until an exam and do an observation. You're going to see them cheat. And teachers, professors are not going to write them up. And if someone does, the hall monitor, the leading professor in charge of the supervision, is going to try to find a reason to not proceed with the report. Well, did you see him cheating? Yeah, he looked at his neighbor's paper and wrote the same answer. Yeah, he's got the answers written in his left hand. Yeah, he opened his book and I looked at him. You know, things like that. Yeah, he openly used his phone. I saw him with his phone in his hand, looking at the screen, then writing an answer down. And they'll say, but you didn't see what he was looking at on the phone. I kid you not. That's how bad it was. So I just ratted the university out to the accreditation visitor and inspector. And so, and see, Art Zuck is telling you here about a case like that. His university teacher took Art Zuck's work and wrote it and didn't credit him and his partner that initially wrote it. And that's what happens here. So you're going to see stuff like this, and we need to go ahead and just say, you know what? No. This is the good thing about this country. This is the bad thing about it. We don't owe it to anybody. Even if you're in their house, you don't owe it to them to lie and say you don't have roaches when they got roaches. Especially when them roaches grow to the size that they can open the refrigerator door, look you in your face up and down like, what the F you looking at? Carry a carton of milk out and start drinking it. Especially when the roaches get to that size. You don't owe it to them to say your house doesn't have any roaches. You have no pest problem. No, straight up. No, okay. The house is nice, especially in that room, but your kitchen got roaches. Your bathroom is clean, but your kitchen's up fuck. Or, okay, well, your sink drains are working, but your toilets ain't flushing. You just got to tell the truth. And this is one thing that they should not come against Art Cathey for. Now, that situation's old. I wanted to let it play before I said anything about it. Now I want to tell you all, it is much better for black men when we go abroad to tell the truth about the good and bad we see. We don't need to be one-sided about that, but it is better for us to tell the truth about the good and the bad that we see, because at the very least we'll have what the Sudanese have. See, the Sudanese have the opposite reputation from the Nigerians. Everybody, you see a Nigerian or you hear that accent, you're like, oh, okay, hide my wallet. Don't let him see none of my ID, no credit cards. Don't let him see none of that. He's a scammer. I mean, that's what's happened to us, especially if any of you have had your identity stolen and you found out later it was somebody from Nigeria that did it. You hear the accent, you're traumatized. Sometimes I am, straight up. Sometimes I hear that Southern Lagos accent and I'm traumatized. And I get triggered. I'm like, no, don't ask me nothing. Especially don't ask me none of my own information. Not yet. Let me get to know you first. And to their credit, maybe one of them got robbed at an ATM by some itness when they got into the States. And maybe they hear me talk and they get triggered. It may have happened. Just to be fair, I get it. They may need to get to know me for a while before they can warm up to me. So it could happen. You hope not. But what I would say too is this. The Sudanese are the opposite. When the Sudanese go somewhere, they have a reputation for just being truthful and honest. Not rich, not poor, but they have a reputation for being honest and not backbiting people. They don't love everybody. They don't hate everybody, even kill, but they have a reputation for not liking dishonesty and backbiting. You don't have to like someone, but talking bad about it behind their back amongst them is seen as cowardly. Lying, especially lying to make money or to cheat, is seen as cowardly. If you're going to lie, you might say something like, well, I know you'll have the argument, but he wasn't happy about the argument. He doesn't hate you. He wasn't happy about the argument. Maybe they hate each other's guts. Lying to make peace between two people is as far as they generally will tolerate lying. That's about it. So they're known for being honest and people respect us about it. And that's why it is. That's exactly what happened when my wife and I were looking at these cars yesterday. It was a Sudanese inspector checked out a car that she and I were looking at and considering. He said, wait, somebody hit y'all in the rear, busted up your trunk. No, they didn't. Yes, they did, sir. It's right here. Did the previous owner not tell you about this? I'm the only owner. Okay, well, then you know somebody hit this trunk. My wife had to translate for me later on. That's the reason I didn't jump on the local citizens that were trying to sell the car, because they had lied to my wife and me already. But when the Sudanese and they were talking and my wife was talking, they were talking too fast. I couldn't pick up on all of it, more than half of it. And see, if we do this, we want to be like the Sudanese in this case. You ain't got to say everything that comes to mind, but if you're going to speak, don't lie. Tell the damn truth. And if you don't feel ready to tell the truth, then just don't answer. This is the kind of reputation that we're going to want when we go abroad. And in order to have this reputation, the best way to do it is to not only give compliments, which is easy for us, but to also give the criticisms. As long as it's honest and as long as you saw it happen, go ahead and tell the truth about what you saw and what you heard. Yes, these niggas is racist if that's what you see. Like I tell you about the Bedouins. Hospitality is great. They don't have hatred. These are not a hateful group of people. They don't hate black folks either. They do think that right off the bat, they're better looking than we are, even though they come from us. That's their problem. They think like they're normal. They got that kind of non-hateful white supremacy thing going on. But they're not violent. They're not the enemies. They're not dangerous to us. You come to the Gulf, the Bedouin's not going to hurt you. Now, some of the city people, they may actually be conscious. That's you might meet something like that. But the Bedouins, no, man, they country people. They ain't conscious. They ain't gonna put their fist in the air when they say salam alaikum to you. It's not gonna happen. They don't know about that. And they can't even understand why even a light-skinned man like me would not marry a woman that calls herself white. They can't get that through their head until I ask them a few rhetorical questions. But that's more about stupidity and brainwashing than it is ill intent and malice. But I got to tell you the truth about it. Here's the good thing. Here's the bad thing. Now, between the United States and coming to the Gulf, which one do I recommend? If you're black, come over to the Gulf. That's what I tell you. As long as you can live a disciplined lifestyle. I will tell you that's what it is because I lived in the States, and the racism you have there is both conscious and subconscious. It's with hate and without hate. You catch it, period. Doesn't matter. And you can't open their eyes up and open their minds up. So we're going to have to be able to do this. And Art Cathey, she was actually a lady, but she was showing us men what we need to do when we go somewhere. Straight tell the truth. So if you go somewhere and people approach you with some kind of business proposition and you don't know them, you don't feel comfortable, and then he says, how come you never want to, do business with me? And you straight tell him, okay, all right, well, since you asked, it's because I don't know you. Now, if somebody that I do know and trust can tell me how you are, then I can make a decision about the future. But right now, I don't know you well enough to say, okay, yeah, I can go into business with you. Because see, people may not like it per se, but they'll respect it. And you didn't have to insult them when you said it. And that's the other thing. Now, people ask me about Egyptians sometimes, and I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm gonna tell you that they're the Lagos niggas of North Africa. If you really want to know the truth, especially the cats from Cairo. Cairo and Lagos are analogs to each other. One being in the west, the other one being in the north. They're both very crowded, very congested, very fast-paced, very impersonal, ready to chew you up and spit you out for $1 or a naira or a guinea pound. Both of them are like that. And just like cats from Lagos don't trust other cats from Lagos, a lot of Southern Nigerians don't trust each other, and that's true. Egyptians also don't tend to trust each other either. So if you're going to go to Egypt, that's an example. Don't be afraid to tell them the truth. Yeah, they're going to get upset. They may even come after you. Tell them the truth anyway. You know why? Because they need to hear it. And more importantly, we need to hear it. It's not a place you can just go without knowing somebody and have your interests protected. I spent 8 hours there one time, unplanned. A plane was late, and so I had to stay there another 8 hours. And I can tell you that was a damn nightmare. Country sucks. Most of its population sucks, hands down. Somebody asked me about it. I need to tell them the truth. When I finally got back here, because I was on my way back here when I had to stay there, and this was a long time ago. But when I finally got back here to work, an Egyptian cat came up. How was your summer? I was like, yeah, it was an adventure. He asked me why I didn't go to Egypt, and I told him, well, I had to go through, and I got stuck there for 8 hours. So when he started asking me questions, I just had to tell him the truth. Man, your country sucks, bro. Really sucks. There was nothing fun about staying there, man. Matter of fact, and see, Charles Irby's telling you the same thing. Egyptians tell you not to trust Egyptians. Somebody got scammed out of 10K. I don't know if that was 10K US dollars or 10K of their money, but the point is, that's what they're doing. Everybody in Egypt is not a scammer. But when you go there, the scammers are going to be attracted to you. They came to me with that. The same guy that asked me, about my summer, and then, oh, well, how did you like Egypt while you were there? And I had to tell him it sucked. This same dude came to me later on, hey, yo, black, not hey, yo, but he was telling me in his own, in his jacked up Arabic. That's not even Arabic they speak. Man told me, listen, a bunch of us, we're doing this, this circle, this money circle. You pay in, and then your turn comes around, and then you cash out, and you pay in again. We rotate. And I know there's some people in Africa do this. In West Africa, I mean, tropical black Africa, where we come from. Some of them do that. But you know what? They know each other. And they all know the banker, the one that distributes. All of them. They know each other. He wanted me to jump in with a bunch of Egyptians that I don't know and don't know me. So you know who I found out from? I went and asked the Sudanese, what do you know about this? And the Sudanese colleagues of mine said to me, we even know the name of the guy that asked you that. We know him. So they told me what was going, what the usual thing to do was they would get into one of these things. They would form one and they would be honest with each other. But some of them might look for a naive non-Egyptian, preferably a Westerner, to join us with them. Tell him that it's 200 US a month when they all paying 200 dinars a month, or 200 Guinean pounds, or 200 Egyptian pounds a month. So they'll tell the Westerner to pay in more, and he doesn't know everybody else is paying in less. And every month, one of them cashes out. And if the Westerner even meets the other ones, he sees them when it's their turn to cash out. Then when it's his turn, the distributor all of a sudden vanishes and leaves town, and none of them know where he went because he ran off with the money. And in reality, he didn't run off with the money, and they know where he is. But they never let the distributor meet the Westerner for that reason. That way they could tell him, oh, he ran off with all of our money. He got all of us. He gaffered all of us. That's what it is. It was the Sudanese that warned me that they were going to do this. So I went back to the Egyptian cat and I told him, I'm definitely not doing it. And I don't want you to ask me about this again. I don't want to hear about it. Don't mention it to me no more. Dude said to me, why not? And I straight told him, listen, number one, you let a student cheat. When I caught him, you let him go, and you did it in front of me. And I told you I was going to rat you out to the head of the department. That's the first thing. So I've already seen you act this way. Secondly, you washed your hands. You used the bathroom and you didn't wash your hands another day. Thirdly, I asked around about this and I found out that the typical reason for asking a Westerner to join this circle that of people I don't know is so that somebody can run off with my money and everybody else will split it and then lie to me. And when I said this, he had the shocked look on his face like, how the hell did he find this out? Now, of course, he said, you think I would do this to you? And I told him, honestly, bro, I don't know what you would do. I know you let a student cheat. So, yes, your honesty is in question. And maybe you don't trust me either. But when I told him this, it wasn't pleasant to look somebody in the face and say this. But the reason I told him was because we were going to have to work together. And at the very least, he would understand, don't come to me with the BS. And he also knows that he can't try this on someone else and expect me to remain silent and not warn them. It doesn't make everybody like you. What it does is it gets you respect. And when you're respected, you can afford to respect other people even more because you get it. It's like money. You get money, you can afford to spend more with others. It's the same with respect. You get respect, then you can afford to show other people more respect. And in all honesty, I'm not going to sit up here and say that us moving means we're never going to have to make a sacrifice again. What it means is that when we move abroad, and I'm talking move like relocate, repatriate, you don't visit, you live in there. When we do this, when we move abroad, we don't have to be mean all the time. But if we're just going to tell the truth, I don't mean you say everything on the mind, but if you at least know, if you're at least known for telling the truth when you do speak, everybody won't like you, but they will respect you. And that's all you need. Because we're moving, we're looking for places to find peace, not just in the vaginas of women either, but in life in general, right? And that's one of the things we're going to have to do. We're going to have to be ready to tell some unpleasant truths. Not all the time, not every day just to do it, not so we can brag. Because we like to do that. I told them this, that, and the other. We love to do this so we can get some high fives from people. I'm not saying we got to do that. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't. Again, it's not so you say everything that comes to mind. It's so that when it's important and you got to say something, you tell the truth about what you witnessed. Then you will find the respect, not just behind closed doors with the women you like or love, but you'll find respect in general. And there's nothing wrong with us wanting to be respected when we go abroad. We've earned it. We've gotten our asses whooped, not just in the United States, but in the Americas in general. If you were Black Brazilian and you can afford to leave, I could see why they would want to. They've been catching it too. So we've been getting our butts whipped in the Americas, getting traumatized. And so consequently, you know, we want that peace. And I don't want us going abroad and losing it like what happened with the Nigerians. That's why I want to see us do something differently. And notice I say what happened to the Nigerians, not what they did, because Nigerians act differently. Of course, it's 250 million. They can't all act the same way. But the fact is that if enough of them, if a sizable minority of them lie, they get a reputation for it. It's just like the wicked witches of the West. Every Western woman ain't a wicked witch, but we got enough of them acting like this and promoting this stuff loudly to where you have to be careful with all of them. Now they got a bad reputation. The good ones have to suffer for that. It's the same thing. When we go abroad, when we Black men go abroad, we don't need to make these mistakes. Art Cathey showed us something that has to be done. Now, she'll learn better how to do it over time if she keeps on doing this. But we can learn from that mistake. We can also learn the necessity of what she did, because even though people came up against her, there were other Africans that said, no, actually, she had to. Just because she ain't from the Gambia don't mean she can't tell the truth about what she saw in the Gambia, good and bad. Marcus Garvey was not African American. He went to America and told Black people some unpleasant truths, and they didn't take it personally. Malcolm X's mother was from Grenada. He was African American, but his mother was also from the Caribbean, and his mother was half white. And he told truths to Black folks in America that were not flattering. But he said, this ain't hate talk. This is love talk. I wouldn't tell you this if I didn't love you. And they applauded when he said it. It was understood. Yeah, we screwed up, but the man is telling us we screwed up, is only speaking on what's open and obvious, and he's not doing it out of hatred. And we become a people that won't listen to any kind of critique. So therefore, we expect others, and oftentimes they won't. You tell errors about themselves, and they're not going to listen. Sometimes you got to get loud and interrupt them and say, hey, yo, I didn't finish what I was saying. And I didn't say that you're a piece of crap and everyone's better than you. What I am saying is this is one of your bad habits. You may have to not soften it, but just tell them something that kind of takes it gets their attention, you could say. You may have to say, my people got the same problem. That's how I know that this is going to lead down into a burning ditch. So hear me out. You may have to do that, but Arabs don't take criticism very well. Matter of fact, they suck at it. The Egyptian was not going to let me tell him about how chaotic his country was. And I mean chaotic. He wasn't going to let anybody tell him. He tried to interrupt. And I told him, you asked me the question. If you don't want the answer, just tell me I changed my mind. I don't want the answer. Stop interrupting me when I'm answering your question. Sorry, your country was chaos, man. I kid you, bro. In Cairo, it was 2 different times at the same time. It was 6:20 and it was 7:20 a.m. in the morning at the same time. And it depended on what you were going to do. So I was like, well, what time is it at the airport? Because I got to catch an 8:20 flight. Rest it. Take it easy. You're going to be all right. No. They got my passport over there. I need the stuff to flow smoothly. Now, is it 7:20 at the airport now, or is it 6:20? Because I'll be damned if I'm gonna miss my flight because of y'all. And see, I got to tell them the truth. And that's when they say, okay, all right, you know what? We're gonna bring the airport shuttle around. Fortunately, I didn't miss that flight. Because God forbid I get stuck over there. And we're going to have to be that people. We're going to have to be that group of people that does not go for people's crap either. You don't have to accept everything that's wrong because you went somewhere else. It's not a requirement. We have earned the right after what they put us through, not just in the continent, but after what they put us through in the continent and in the Americas in general and everywhere else we've been. We've earned the right to, if we made sure that something is in fact going wrong and we're not doubting what we're seeing and hearing, we have the right to say, no, you fix that, bro. You go to a country where they don't respect lines and respect cues, and you got there before someone and they skipped you in line. No, bro. No. Back of the line. Back of the line. I'm going to kick you in your testicles in front of everybody. You have that right. You've got that because believe you me, if somebody is on a receiving end or the business end of what's going on that's wrong, and you come around the corner, eventually they're going to say, oh, wow, okay, one of them showed up. I'm safe. I kid you not. But we do not owe it to anybody to lie and flatter them, even if you're in their house and you didn't pay no rent to stay there. I think I said enough, man. I appreciate you all being patient with my long sermon. I got to go because we got to go to work early in the morning and it's already nighttime here. Thanks for listening. Black heart, black mind, blackout, assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual international male power just because they don't like it.